As he'll be out there on the starting line.
Face-off win for RPI, thrown off the end wall. Played around to the near corner. Score RPI and Colgate.
Yeah, but RPI, they've had the puck.
Babachuk holding. He'll filter it down low. Craig slows it up there and flips to the far side half wall. Colton Young, second leading scorer on the Raiders.
Historic rivalry here.
Skate. Fires just wide, picks it up on the other side. Back to the point. This is Cosgrove. Sustained pressure now from the Raiders. Behind the goal. And a face-off coming up in the neutral zone. Back into RPI territory. Binsky, good connection to center, good gather by Polino. Feeds it across to Chelberg moving in. Drop pass to Polino, top of the circle. Back, but neither of them picked him up, and he's able to break in behind. Now we get a penalty coming up here. It's going to be a slash, and I think it's going to go on the Raiders.
Yeah, I mean, Cockrell helped him up there, so it's going to be Cockrell going to the box.
Yeah, it's going to be a slash on Cockrell.
So 14:47 to go here in the first. RPI and Colgate tied up at 0-0, but RPI headed to the power play, which was unable to convert last night. But on the season, they are at 16.7%.
And now we get we got a media stoppage here, which means RPI can go over their power play. 14:47 on the clock. We're just across that 5-minute timeline. And if you're right, a first power play chance here for RPI. The Raiders on the kill come in at 77.9%, 60 out of 77. not a good rate there. See if the Engineers can capitalize on that, Joe.
Yeah, the power play was really hot at the beginning of the season for RPI. They're 11 for 67 on the year, good enough for 8th in the league, but they're going to need to be better. They were up to like almost 30% to start the season. Now they've dropped it down to about half of that, so it'll be tough. I don't foresee them going back up to 30% by any stretch of the imagination, but if they were able to at least go 30% from here on out and maybe get it back towards 25%, 22% on the power play, that'd be nice. As Lepinen wins the faceoff back to Shelburne. Over to Ashbrook there as they set up. Clean faceoff when they set up in the offensive zone. Shelburne sends a shot through. That goes around. Rebound. Where is it? Raiders come away with it.
All right, as then we go to some help downstairs. Early power play chance there for RPI. Just 20 seconds into the to the man advantage. Chipped into the zone there by Ashbrook. It'll be gathered up by Meyer behind the goal. He pins it against the end wall. Flip back towards the point. Not a lot on it, but Shelburne gets there at the hash marks. Now to the near side. Back to the point, Hallbauer. He'll pull up in the corner. Trying to feed it down low, intercepted and cleared out. Good defensive play there by Nick Austin. And there's Savory had some trouble with the puck. Shelburne just chips it off the glass, and it does just enough to get away from Arnaud Vachon, who is in on the forecheck shorthanded, the freshman from Ajax, Ontario. Chase Zeke along the near side boards, trying to sweep it in. Then he ends up throwing it to the middle of the ice, kind of a blind pass. It hits Polino, and Raiders are able to gather up and clear. 44 seconds to go on the first power play of the game. 13:28 to go first period, no score. RPI and Colgate. Babichuk drop pass at center, skated in by Polino on the far side. He'll ring it in. Comes down to the near corner. Zeke takes a bump, and he's tied up and lost it. Shoveled out of the zone on the backhand by Bobby McMahon, the leading scorer for the Raiders, senior out of Wainwright, Alberta. That's just about do it for the power play. One more rush here maybe for the Engineers. Dubinsky flips it in on the far side. In first is Riley. He has it stolen away, and he'll be sent back down, and that will. And the power play is Savory. I'm just going to hold on to it here. Now we'll hand it off to Babichuk with 2, and back to even are the Raiders. Stretch pass here, looking for a shot, and it was Linden. I think it was blocked. It doesn't matter anymore in college hockey, as any shot attempt that goes out of play is an offensive zone face-off, regardless of what it hits. 12:42 left in the first period. No score, RPI and the gate.
Yeah, RPI really unable to get set in the offensive zone after the initial face-off win on the power play, so not a great showing so far, but they'll look to rebound on them at 5-on-5.
Shots are 4-2 Colgate early on here. Engineers have had, if not more, at least the same amount of offensive zone time, thanks in part to that power play, but they had a good start to this game as far as offensive zone possession. Raiders fought back a bit, but it's been pretty even. Savory's going to ring this one out near side. Morello goes cross ice, neutral zone for Linden. Into the middle, bouncing puck, tough to handle for Ferner, who is crashing into the zone. And now Ferner tries to pick it up along the far side boards. Back to the point, fed to the middle by Morello. Back to Ferner, wrist shot coming over the top of the net. As Ferrier was down in the butterfly, now RPI has to get back defensively as it's flipped into the zone by Griffin Lunn, the sophomore from Lockport, New York. He's tied up in the far corner now as he chases it all the way down. Tyler Jensen picked his pocket, did Tour Linden, who's probably nearing the end of his shift. He'll dump it in and head off. Forechecker is Morello, nearly stole the puck away. Now Gornell helps on the offensive side, but it's the Raiders who break out to center ice. Into the RPI zone it goes, past everybody. Out of his net was Savory, finds Lepinen, and now Klee. Ahead far side for Mike Gornell. Back to Klee, a wrist shot right on, save made, rebound, put behind the goaltender, still loose, and it's going to be covered. Referee lost sight of it. It was underneath Ferrier for a moment, but then it came free and fans saw it. That's why they're booing or jeering a bit there. Good try by Ashbrook. All he could try to do there is try to bank it off the back of the goalie. He didn't get a lot on it.
Yeah, but
Yeah, go ahead.
That play starts with Owen Savory jumping out of the cage and sending that pass up ice, allowing Mason Klee to kind of jump in on the rush and get that opportunity. Ashbrook he knew exactly what he was doing. He went behind the net and just swept it towards the goaltender, and Ferrier almost kicks it in himself, but Matt Verboon able to push it in behind.
Wraparound try, Kjellberg. That one's turned away by Ferrier, now behind the goal. Here is Jerry. He gets hit from behind. Penalty coming up here. It's going to be a board and a touch of the puck. RPI will go on its second power play with 11:01 to go in the first period.
That's 11:01 to go. We are still scoreless here, but RPI starting to create some more offense for themselves, and this power play should help with that. Again, they got an odd man rush at one point that Ashbrook snuck in behind the net and almost bounced it off the skate of Ferrier to put it in.
Second power play for the Engineers. They are 0 for 1. Polino at the far point plays it down low for Dubinsky. Zach Dubinsky, freshman out of Highland Park, Illinois. Stolen away now by the Raiders, but they can't clear. It's kept in by Riley. Zeke, top of the zone, holding. Fed across to Polino. Center blue line. Here's Corey Babichuk, the freshman from Edmonton. Near side, Wiley, a one-timer. That one's turned away by Ferrier. Back up top now. Here's Babichuk. Far side point, Polino into the middle for Zeke. Drop pass, Babichuk, top of the circle. Finds a lane, takes a shot, and a juicy rebound kicked out there by Ferrier, but in the end it was cleared out by the Raiders all the way down. Savory will slow it up there as it's played to Babichuk. Minute 15 to go on the power play. Some good looks already on the man advantage for the Engineers as they look to break out from behind their own goal. On that penalty, it was a rough hit from behind on Billy Jerry, but he got up pretty quickly. Didn't want to scare anyone there. It was a dangerous play, and that's why the penalty gets called immediately. Some more violent than others, and that one was on the tamer side, but still, you can't hit a guy in the numbers like that. And so the Raiders will clear it down again. And the RPI starts back out the far side, moved in by Ashbrook, quickly stolen away by McMahon. He clears the zone, just barely over the blue line, picked up by Kjellberg. RPI starts over again on the far side. Chipped off the wall, right back out to center by one of the Raiders. 30 seconds to go on the power play. Little saucer pass to center ice for Gornell, back for Kjellberg. He'll cross the red line. Simon Kjellberg dumps it in. Draft choice of the New York Rangers. Move back to the blue line. Nice play by Hallbauer to settle down for Kjellberg. Down low, Gornell trying to center. Good break up there as Meyer got in the way of that pass. RPI keeps it, however. 7 to go in the power play. Kjellberg thought about a slap shot. Now he'll try a wrister. There's a save. It's between the pads of Ferrier, who's had to be good so far early in this game. 9:03 on the clock, first period. Still 2 ticks on that RPI power play. But the Engineers have looked good on the man advantage. They move the puck well, getting some shots as well.
Yeah, that line of Ashbrook, Lepinen, and Gornell have been really in sync with each other as of late there. And Kjellberg at the point, making a couple pretty plays at the blue line, faking a couple slap shots and then going with a more clean wrist shot that's been able to get through. Ferrier's had trouble seeing it.
Engineers win the draw. Power play is over. Shot there by Ferner was blocked. So RPI 0 for 2 on the power play. But have looked good. 8:46 to go in the first. Nick Bowman lost it on the handle, stolen away by Cosgrove. Trevor Cosgrove behind his own net, trying to get away from Tour Linden, who's providing some good pressure. As it'll be played by Anthony Stark near side. Scharf back to Cosgrove, tipped in deep by the Raiders, McKechnie, and they'll get a change. Savory stops it behind the goal, quickly ahead for Linden. Fed far side, knocked out of the air by Bowman, who's shown great hand-eye coordination throughout his young RPI career. This is his 8th game of the year, 36th of his career. Played last night as well against Cornell. Just has 3 assists last year, but had 3 goals and 3 assists as a freshman a season ago. Now, just standing behind his own net is Jacob Panetta, senior from Belleville, Ontario. RPI just waiting for him to move from behind, and now they finally do. Babichuk steals it away at center and shoots it right back into the zone. Panetta takes a hit there from Jerry. Poked back towards the Colgate zone. RPI has to wait for Jerry to touch up, and they go back on the attack pressure-wise. Snodgrass, cross-ice feed was tipped, but gets to its intended target, now moving into the zone. Good defense there as McAvoy was overtaken, and RPI moves it back to center. Touch pass picked up Lee, spun in by Jerry. Behind the goal, it's played by Ferrier. Near side corner, Austin. Back behind the goal from Meyer. Now back to Austin in the near corner of his own end. RPI extended that forecheck pressure. It's giving Colgate trouble. They're not really able to connect too many passes out of their own zone. Now here's Zeke as RPI starts from its own end. That one too far out in front of Dubinsky. Knocked down the blue line. Polino, did he keep it in? Yes, they say. Played to the far side. Zeke, where it's intercepted by Stark. And now back out come the Raiders. McAvoy to center, has a man on his right, uses him. That was Lund. Bouncing puck, swatted into the corner by Johnson. RPI is the next to touch. It'll be a hand pass, and they aren't, so we play on. Raiders, center blue line. Off the stick of Lund into the near corner. He gets knocked down there. Looked like he lost an edge. Tie up behind the RPI goal. 6.5 to go in the first. Poked away by the Engineers to the near side circle. Now Zeke has it. He takes a look and chips it off the wall. Too far for Polino. Picked up by Craig, who goes D-to-D to Cosgrove, who dumps it back in. Knocked out of the air with the blocker of Savory as Colgate will change 4 of 5. And RPI will be the ones now to slowly start their breakout from behind the goal. Kyle Hallbauer, sophomore from Howell, New Jersey, to the near side for Johnson. Stretch pass behind Lepinen. They'll say it was touched, so no icing here. Ferrier far side. Good pressure by Ashbrook. Puck comes loose there to McKechnie. McKechnie off the wall to center ice. Goes right to Ferner for RPI. He turns it over. Carried in by the Raiders. It's Colton Young on a wrap try. Tried to throw it back out in front. That was broken up as well. McKechnie to the near corner. Tied up by Shelberg. Under 6 to go in the first period. We are scoreless. RPI and Colgate from the Houston Fieldhouse. Pulling up is Cockrell at the near side half wall. Spinning with it, McKechnie along the boards now. Hand off to the defenseman. Austin takes a hit. Puck comes free to Gornell. Plays it behind for Ashbrook. Tristan Ashbrook up the far side wall. Knocked down on the far side was Lappinen, but the Engineers break to center. Stolen away from Gornell by Panetta. Jacob Panetta in the air. Played by Gornell. He gets it back, and now it'll be played cross ice to an open wing where Shelberg slows things down, backs up to his own zone. Across there for Ferner, down the middle, tipped deep by Morello. Hits off the end wall, and Ferrier has that trickle a little bit too close to his cage for his comfort, and he'll hold on for a whistle. 5:02 left in the first, no score.
Yeah, I'd say a much better first period for RPI. After last night, Cornell just came out flying. They outshot RPI 16-3 on net. A bit more even here. RPI obviously having the advantage with the 2 power plays, but they were unable to score on both of them. One thing I'd like to see RPI do better is keep their passes in the offensive zone. Try and get them more tape to tape. I saw one opportunity where Polino was trying to connect with Zeke, and he ended up hitting him in the skates, whereas if he had gotten that to his stick, he might have been able to move in with some speed and get a shot off. Just one opportunity that comes to mind there. But on the power play, RPI has been connecting with each other, especially when they're in the offensive zone, and that's a good sign because that means that everybody's in sync with each other and that they may be able to convert eventually. But still 0-0 here with 5:02 to go in the first. You're listening to live coverage of RPI men's hockey on 91.5 FM WRPI Troy.
Face-off coming up in the Colgate zone. We're 5-on-5 here. Shots are 6-5 RPI now. Face-off win for the Engineers. Riley into the middle for Bowman. A shot that flips just wide. As Meyer shakes off the pressure of Linden. Now he gets it back in the near corner. Takes a hit from Bowman. Morello trying to stick handle around his man. Gets bumped off the puck. It's picked up by Meyer. Meyer in the far corner now. Linden ties him up as it'll be pushed to the slot. Poked away there. Now back to the far corner it goes. McMahon to center past everybody. Babachuk picks it up in the neutral zone. Flips it ahead. Now offside of the Raiders. As slow to get up there is Penner. And we're going to have a stoppage in play once again. Another immediate timeout here. We had 2 back-to-back because then we had a long period of play with no stoppages. Joe, now we get 2 back-to-back.
Yeah, Tyler Penner there just trying to wiggles leg, keep his skate on side, but no cigar as RPI continues to press here. 4:25 to go. We have a couple announcements to make here. First, we'd like to thank the Rensselaer Union, which provides the funding for WRPI and all club-related activity of the Institute, including WRPI's coverage of RPI hockey, football, and baseball. Just a reminder, WRPI is on the World Wide Web. Point your browser to WRPI.org and you can pick up WRPI's broadcast 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So long as WRPI is broadcasting, we will provide the broadcast on our internet feed. Once again, that is WRPI.org. Recruitment, WRPI is seeking current RPI students to make live calls of RPI athletic events such as this one. There are opportunities this season to get on the air for men's and women's hockey. For information or to express interest, contact us at WRPI-sports@rpi.edu.
Neutralized draw coming up. 4:25 left in the first period. RPI wins another face-off. And we moved out by Dubinsky. Polino, shot blocked. Another try Dubinsky, that's on goal. And it wasn't going to get past Ferrier. But good to put one on anyway, see what you get rebound-wise. Yeah. Didn't get one, but yeah, good chance.
And you can see Zeke crashing in on the net again. He's hungry. He has not seen the puck go in the back of the net off of his stick in a while, so he'll be hammering for more.
Face-off here in the Colgate zone. Polino drags it into the corner. Shifty move there, goes behind the goal. Trying to get away from Panetta. Another good attempt at a move, gets shoved to the ice by Panetta, and they both go down. Dubinsky's over to help out as well. Now drops it off to Zeke, looking for a shot. That was turned away. Cross ice in the air from Johnson. Nice job by Klee just to handle the pass. Although in the end he lost it, and the Raiders clear to center. Swept away by Johnson, moved ahead Polino, top of the circle, has some room, takes a shot, he scores! Patrick Polino! And the Engineers take a 1-0 lead.
And that play starts at neutral ice, where you mentioned Mason Klee was able to do enough just to slow the pass down. They get it back at neutral ice, and I believe that it was Johnson that made the outlet pass there for Polino, and Polino just snipes it. Top shelf. RPI gets that all-important first goal. The last two games that they won, they scored the first goal.
For Polino, it's his 7th of the year. And 12th point, and why that's significant, Joe, is because he's had 11 points in each of his first 3 seasons.
So that's a career high.
And so it is a career high, Joe. 12 points for Patrick Polino, the senior from Buffalo, and plenty of games left. Now, I do want to put another asterisk there is he had 11 points last year. I think he only played in 23 games. He was injured at the end of the year. So seemingly it was only a matter of time before he put more than 11 in a season, but he does so here on January 11th. RPI, more importantly than the 12th point, is the first goal, as Joe mentioned, of this game. RPI has been a better team when playing from ahead. There's a shot quickly there. Gordel over the top of the net. Played there by Kjellberg up the wall. Lappinen trying to dig it out of the corner. Otto Ville Lappinen out of Espoo, Finland, looks to cycle, but threw it right to Cosgrove, who has to deal there with Ashbrook. Played up the near side wall. There's 2 players still down in the corner. It's Austin and Lappinen. Puck goes deep into RPI territory. Well, Kjellberg runs into Lund. Chopped back to center. Corralled there on a bounce by Stark, who plays it back through center ice. Lund behind his intended target, but Colton Young gets it deep. Savory has been more apt to use his goalie stick, it seems, this year than in years past. Maybe I'm just noticing it more. Ends up playing it across, and now the Engineers break to center. Dubinsky into the near side, drops it off. Zeke shot, he scores! Top corner, Chase Zeke, and it's 2-0 RPI.
And that's a huge one for him. Again, he has not scored since November 22nd. So Chase Zeke will get his 6th of the season. And that was a much-needed one for him because he's been due. He's played well. He's gotten shots, and he finally now gets one. RPI, they get the goals about a minute apart here. Zeke on the replay, just again, Dubinsky flies in. He gets his 7th assist of the season, and Zeke just rips it. Again, top corner, this time far side. Polino went near side. RPI takes the 2-0 lead.
And I do want to point out, Joe, that while he was in that scoring slump goal-wise, he did have 5 assists. He was still, I think, the second leading scorer on the team coming in tonight.
No, absolutely.
So, yeah.
But he's got a goal scorer's mentality.
Sure.
He loves to shoot the puck, and I'm sure it's been frustrating for him to not get one in. But now he gets one in. It's a big one because RPI now has a 2-goal lead.
That one trying to flip in front. Morello picked up there by Babichuk. Takes a hit along the near side board. Now moves it back towards the point. Babichuk escapes on his backhand, still on it. Now finally moved away by Craig. And puck goes behind the goal. RPI still in the attack, centering try. Morello, one chance and another. And he was turned away that time by Ferrier. Now in deep is Riley in the near corner. 2-0 RPI, under 2 to go in the first period. We have not seen the Engineers open the floodgates yet this year. As I say that, Colgate moves back the other way, and a sliding play there by Babichuk to break things up. As it could have been another potential break there for the Raiders. Now a shot from the wall by Morello is easily held by Ferrier, who really wants a whistle to slow things down, and he gets it here.
Yeah, 1 minute and 30 seconds remaining in the first period. RPI up 2-0, and you can just see they've got a ton of energy after getting that all-important first goal. Another play that I noticed, Lepinen beat out an icing to continue. They didn't score off of the resulting offensive zone time, but still a player like Lepinen showing his speed there and chasing it down the length of the ice to beat out the icing as he's back out there for RPI.
Draw coming up in the Colgate zone. Puck tipped to the far side corner. Lepinen's there. And flipped in front, goes through Ashbrook all the way to the point. Here's Johnson. He'll fire it down low. Good defensive stick by Cosgrove to break things up. And now he has it, and he moves to center with it. Moved along into the attacking zone by Ethan Manderville. As it's tied up in the near side corner of the RPI zone. We approach a minute to go in the first. Shots are 11-5 RPI. Johnson behind the goal for Klee. Klee takes a look up and plays near side for Lepinen. Otto-Ville Lepinen into the zone, drops it off for Ashbrook. Tough handle, but he gets it deep. Kicked at by Lund to the far side. Gornell digging for it. Runs into Meyer. And now behind the cage, it's Stark. Near side is Dubinsky with a bit of a hit on Stark, but the Raiders move it out far side into the zone. McAvoy in front. Chance there. The tips goes behind the goal. Picked up by Dubinsky. Ahead there for Lampinen. Shot back into the zone by Craig. I thought the puck left the zone. Apparently not, as none of the Raiders touched up, and they go in on Savory, who has to cover. 21.3 left in the period, and RPI up 2-0.
Yeah, RPI, they don't want to give one back here get late in the period, as the Raiders clearly are responding late in the period. They're not happy with giving up those 2 quick goals. Savory electing to cover up here. He actually has a little trouble handling it there, but the ref gives him a friendly whistle. Colgate gets an offensive zone face-off here, and they'll be firing. They don't want to go down 2-zip in the first.
Drop, flipped out to center ice. Shot back in, now a centering pass hit a skate. Engineers skate back the other way, 8 seconds to go in the period. Looks like they're offside, and they are. Zeke kind of stick handled a little too long along the blue line. Now he gets to a jawing match there with Panetta, and Panetta stuck his face mask right in Zeke's face, and now Zeke gives him a tap and says,
yeah, a little love tap there.
I guess we're good. All right, that was exciting. A lot of drama there, but it turned out to be just about nothing. 2-0 RPI, 6.6 on the clock here in the period.
RPI still elects to go out with Lee and DeGrande, 2 of the tougher guys on RPI's forward line.
Shot into the near side of the RPI zone, and that'll do it as the horn sounds. Although not very loudly, of course. It is Autism Awareness Night, and so we'll keep those artificial sounds to a minimum, but fans can sure cheer as long as they want, and RPI fans have had something to cheer about early in this game as they take a 2-0 lead into the first intermission.
Yeah, a great response after last night where they were down 1-0 to Cornell going into the first, and they did not have the same type of energy that we're seeing from them here. And this is a good Colgate team. Colgate is currently tied for 4th in the ECAC, I believe, with Quinnipiac, and RPI is currently tied for 6th. So this game has some serious implications. And RPI, they can't take their foot off the gas because this is a good team. And RPI is going to have to keep them at bay as we saw them respond late in that first period.
All right, we have the Owen Savory was the spotlight athlete from ECAC on the podcast there with Bernie Corbett, so we'll run that during our first intermission. We'll get to that quickly because it's a rather long one. Once again, your score after 1 period of play is RPI 2 and Colgate nothing. You're listening to RPI Hockey on 91.5 FM, WRPI Troy. Back live at the Houston Fieldhouse. RPI leading Colgate 2-0 as we head to the second period. Perry Lascaris, Joe Pisacano here, 91.5 FM, WRPI Troy. And Joe, what does RPI have to do here in the second to maybe add this lead or at least keep the pressure on the way they were doing?
I think they just have to keep playing the way they're playing. They've done a phenomenal job. You have to expect Colgate's going to get at least one power play in the second period here as RPI got 2 in the first. But they have to continue to pressure on Ferrier. They've done a nice job of that so far, getting bodies in front of the net and also just finishing their shots. As this puck gets sent out of play, when they've had separation, like Polino and Ziki did, they both were able to those guys are snipers, and they were able to snipe it home. And also, one thing we forgot to mention, that Mason Klee got his first collegiate point and an assist off of Polino's goal. Again, he made the initial stop at the blue line before clearing it out to Johnson at neutral ice.
We were going to get there. I don't think we're going to leave him short. but good pointing out there. Klee, his father, Ken Klee, 13-year veteran of the NHL. I'm sure a proud moment for him as well. But Engineer have the lead. Now a giveaway in front of the net. Shot a save by Savory, point blank. Oh my. A chance there. There's some sticky ice there. Sometimes when the ice is fresh, it can find a wet spot and it'll stick there. That's what happened and nearly cost RPI, but an early save, point blank by Owen Savory. Now the Engineers get the puck deep, trying to center. It's intercepted. Picked up again by RPI. And turning with his Polino, he shoots. That one's turned away. And cleared all the way down. This could be icing here. And it is. We're going to face off back down on the Raiders' end.
Yeah, and a cool little stat here. Whenever Chase Ziki scores for RPI, they usually win the game. They're 3-1 with Chase Ziki scoring, and Chase Ziki got his first goal of the new year here and the new decade in the first period. So good looks for RPI so far. Ashbrook sent one's in.
Face-off flipped out to the point, kept in by Babichuk. He tries to find Ashbrook, but is intercepted and skated straight away by the Raiders. Trying to drive the middle of the ice. Engineers sandwiched the on-rusher. That was Scharf, and now back comes Gornell the other direction on the near side of the Cornell zone. Pop towards the near point, poked out to center by an Engineer, but it's carried on further by the Raiders. Trying to drive on the near side was Cockrell, poked away from him, and it's back out to center. Raiders corral. Shot in by Panetta. Savory stops it, helps it to the near corner. Riley tries to spin it out of the zone and does, all the way to Linden at the red line. Tour Linden chips into the far corner, slowed up by Ferrier. Played behind the goal by Meyer. Colgate now to center ice. Far side Panetta, backhand lifted into the RPI zone, goes behind the goal. Steered away by Hallbauer to the far side. Hallbauer chips it off the boards. The center comes down at neutral ice. Waiting for it was Morello. Finds Linden. Linden into the zone. Drops it back to Morello. Morello circle shot off the post. Oh, it was Ferrier who got most of it, but then it hit the post and went wide. Hallbauer can't keep it into the line, but an early chance for RPI now as the Engineers dump it in. It'll go down as a save by Ferrier. Now a centering pass trickles out in front of the Colgate net, and he will cover. Andrew Ferrier, I mentioned he's from Montreal, former Kingston Voyager. He's 5-2 on the season with a 1.89 goals against and 9.32 save percentage this season. Some great numbers for him. He's one of the better goalies RPI has faced in this league statistically. Yeah,
not as good as Galida, but good nonetheless. No. As we saw there, Linden dropping the pass back for Morello, who got the shot off, and it was blockered into the pipe actually by Ferrier. So it was a goalie save, but it did hit the pipe as well.
Draw coming up in the Colgate zone. Sits on the dot, stolen away by Lee. Tight angle shot off the base of the net. And now Lee puts pressure on Cosgrove. Cosgrove behind his own goal, given away to DeGrande. Stolen right back by Austin. Near side connection. As it's Verboon lifting it to center and all the way down. Will it be icing? Yes. As Chelberg just barely beat out the speedy John Snodgrass there. Face off back down in the Raiders zone.
Yeah, and Tommy Lee out there, it's only his 7th game of the season this year for the Engineers. Danny DeGrande as well, both their 7th games. And when you're those players that are always in and out of the lineup, you got to be able to give it your all, and we've seen that from DeGrande and Lee tonight. They've been playing with a ton of energy on that 4th line.
Engineer gets tossed from the dot there. So Polino will go in and replace of Dubinsky. 2-0 RPI, 17:28 to go in the second. RPI wins the faceoff again. Dubinsky trying to drop it back right through the stick of Polino. I think he took his eye off it. Goes all the way down the ice. But of course RPI played it there. Played by Ferner now in the new corner for Chelberg. Ahead for Dubinsky. He'll stick handle to center. Zach Dubinsky on the move. Strong on the puck into the zone. Finally knocked off it as Cosgrove takes over in front of his own goal. Goes back behind. Hands it off to Panetta. Drop pass back to Panetta after he gave it up the wall to Lund. And now Panetta will dump it into the near corner. First one to it. Going to be Tyler Jensen, the junior from Carmen, Manitoba. Takes a couple of shoves there from Johnson. Works it back to the near half wall for Lund. Lund twisting and turning. Tries to go cross point and does. Good handle there. Shot comes in. Hit bodies in front. Might have caught the skate of McAvoy, and the try there from Craig. Back around to the near side half wall. It goes RPI zone. Jensen behind the net for McAvoy. McAvoy back to the near point. Panetta shot. That one's blocked by Zeke. He controls it himself and plays it ahead for Polino. Polino off the boards, trying to return the pass to Zeke, but Polino picks it up, trying to spin it back out in front, but it was stolen away by Lund. And he'll pull up to the far side of his own zone, go back behind the goal for Craig. Ross Craig, senior out of South Glengarry, Ontario, works it ahead. Stolen away by the Raiders at center ice now. Jensen, a shot right on and a save by Savory. And he holds on for a whistle. 16:03 to go in the second. RPI, those 2 first period goals standing right now.
Yes, and Colgate really coming out of the gate here, no pun intended, just trying to break it open as RPI, they've been pressuring Savory a lot more this period. They've been getting some much better quality chances in the lower areas closer to Savory, as they're not going to give up at all.
Shots are 2-2 in the frame, as then Savory covers one up as it came trickling off the face-off.
Yeah, it comes trickling off there, but RPI, they're going to have to continue to play with the same energy that they played in that first period if they're going to win this game, because Colgate isn't going anywhere.
Face-off win for RPI. Corey Babichuk will skate in front of Savory and work it to the far side for Morello. Now a bouncing pass skips by Linden all the way down. It'll be icing on the Engineers. 15:51 to go in the period. And a face-off coming back to the RPI end. These two teams have traded wins their last 4 in the series, so in that sense, it's RPI's turn. But of course, it doesn't work that way, and we have a face-off back down the RPI zone here, Joe. Yeah,
it looked like Torlin may have been arguing with that for a little bit. I thought he might have gotten a stick on it, and
it was
he did
close
as well.
Draw in the RPI zone. They win another face-off. Do we have the first period numbers on draws? I thought the Engineers did a great job there,
yes,
but I didn't see the numbers.
We'll check them right now.
As the RPI spins it in, behind the goal played by Ferrier. Raiders control it there, as it's now Meyer. And back behind the goal for Meyer once more.
Yeah, RPI held the face-off advantage 20-9.
Wow, that's pretty good. 67% will give you a long way. Tie up in the far corner of the RPI zone after it's dumped in by Colgate. Chipped up the wall, past Morello, shot comes in, Savory saw it all the way and pins it against his leg for a whistle.
Yeah, Nick Austin there just rifling it in from the far point, and Savory saw it all the way, but Colgate again making an emphasis to put pressure on the net.
Face off in the RPI zone coming up. We just heard from Joe, the Engineers won 20 out of 28, 20 out of 29 in the first period. Where's that up to date? Here's a shot comes in, that was blocked by Kjellberg, hit him in the stomach, and he just kind of reactionarily shoots it down, and it'll be an icing on RPI.
So 2 icings in a row here, some tired legs out there for the Engineers, as they'll look to just clear to neutral ice and then get a change.
Face off to Savory's right now. Kind of a haphazard period after some early chances for RPI. Really good chances both ways in this game. Savory's had to make another point-blank stop in this period early on. Keep it at 2-0. Then some icing calls have slowed down the flow of this game. Anyway, Colgate wins the draw. Cosgrove tries to take a shot. It's blocked. Dubinsky tries to work it out. And it's Polino up the boards and all the way down. Will this be icing? Yes, it will. Another icing call here against the Engineers. And we slowly will crawl along here as Dubinsky finishes snapping his stick in half as he goes to get a new one.
So Dubinsky breaks the twig.
He looked like Bo Jackson there for a second. He just kind of did it, broke a stick in his hands, but obviously was already, creased at some point there.
A lot of stoppages here in this period.
Face off for the Engineers goes behind the goal. Kjellberg had it stolen away by McKechnie. Now back to the near point. Panetta keeps it alive. Kicked at by McKechnie. Trying to come off the boards with it. He's being harassed by Ferner. Now McKechnie a shot and a glove save as he's being pestered there. Now getting his stick between the legs of Savory. Engineers defensemen are not going to like that one bit. That was
Josh McKechnie.
It was Cockrell. Cockrell got his stick stuck between Savory's legs somehow. And it was
Kjellberg took exception.
Yeah, I think everyone in the Engineers defensive core is going to take exception to that. They don't want your goalie with a stick between his legs. Anyway, we got a media stoppage here. 2-0 RPI leads, 14:33 to go second period. And you're listening to live coverage of RPI Hockey, 91.5 FM, WRPI Troy.
Yeah, 14:33 to go, but as you mentioned, we've been really just crawling through this second period here. Lots of stoppages, lots of icings, lots of glove down shots by the netminders. Not a bad thing, but it's just strange to see after that first period where it seemed that there was no stoppage at all. It was just up and down the ice, both sides. They didn't get to have their media stoppage till 4 minutes left in the first period, I think it was, something like that. But just the tale of two periods so far.
My mom's getting on my case for using the word reactionarily, which is not a word, so I apologize for that.
I think the listeners get the meaning of it.
Well, yeah, I think she got the meaning of it too, but it's not. I shouldn't say things like that. Anyway, face-off coming up in the RPI zone. Engineers fans are fine with any words I say when the Engineers are up 2-0, I think.
Yeah. Ashbrook set to take the draw. So RPI gets that all-important change there after 3 icings in a row.
Absolutely. Hallbauer shoots it behind the goal. Raiders trying to throw it out in front. Backhand try. Saved by Savory. Still loose out in front of him. There's a massive humanity. Finally has moved to the corner. Gornall's going to try and lift it out to center. Get some help there from Ashbrook. And finally, RPI is able to clear the puck without icing it. Raiders towards the blue line. Kept in by the glove of Hallbauer. He takes a hit, but he stays up. And now the Raiders moving ahead anyway. Snodgrass into the zone. Drop pass Panetta. Shot was blocked there by Gornall. Now RPI tries to break back the other way. 2-on-1. Into the zone near side. Lepinen across for Gornall. Broken up nicely by Panetta, who is racing back to his own zone. And finally, it'll be covered up by Ferrier.
And that was a much-needed chance for RPI because Colgate was really just selling out, sending everyone in there to crash the net and up at the points telling their defensemen to pinch in there. They're trying to get back into this game, but when RPI is able to force a play like that, you have to be more careful. Now, good play by Jacob Panetta on the back check to get in between the pass of Lepinen to Gornall because he was moving right in on Cage.
Here is Riley at the near point off the offensive zone draw. Tried to throw it in front. Linden looking for a tip, didn't get it. Kept alive at the far side. Half wall by Morello down low. Raiders clear to center. And Will Riley back to pick it up. RPI's top point getter coming into tonight. He's been met by Zeke in that regard. 15 points coming into play for the senior captain, Will Riley. Top ECAC defenseman in points. Or in goals, rather.
I believe he's second in the country in goals as well for a defenseman.
For a defenseman, yeah. You're right about that.
13th in points. So Will Riley having a phenomenal senior season, and no doubt the Pittsburgh Penguins are probably pretty happy they drafted him.
Yeah, he was, I believe, the last
overall pick.
In 2017 or 16?
Yeah, it was after his freshman season, so that'd be 2017.
2017.
But yeah, he's one of those diamond in the rough players you see.
I was sitting on the beach in Rhode Island when I found out that he was drafted there, and so I had to rush back and do something about it. Anyway, 13-10 to go, second period. RPI up 2-0. Raiders trying to break out of their own zone. All the way down it goes, picked up by Klee. Klee tries to leave it in the near corner. McAvoy. And now Lund trying to drive it out in front. It was poked away. Chipped off the boards by DeGrande, but they can't clear the zone. Lund lets it go to the point. Shot by Craig is blocked into the far corner. Now DeGrande throws a hit on McAvoy. Trying to dig it out to the near side. Jensen for the Raiders. Good bit of offensive zone time here for Colgate. McAvoy spins it back to the point, rolling. Puck will be settled down there, thrown cross ice. Panetta was half bailing on the play, but does keep it in the zone momentarily, where Jerry picks up in the near side. Corner now back behind the goal it goes. Here's Mason Klee for RPI. Freshman defenseman from Morrison, Colorado. Moved into the zone there. Shot coming from Jerry on a feed from Lee. It was a good look as Lee tried to provide a screen. Lee not a very big guy, but if you can kind of distract the goalie there, maybe you can throw his what he was looking at off there. That's what Lee tried to do.
Yeah, and you mentioned that Colgate just had a lot of offensive zone time, but no shots to show for it in that last setting. And you have to give credit to the forwards here who were blocking shots. Tommy Lee, I saw specifically one play where he went shooting up from the dot up to the point and blocked the shot, almost kicked it out of the zone. They ended up keeping it in, but just lots of energy from that line, and they create a scoring chance as a result of it. As you mentioned, Tommy Lee flying in towards the net, trying to distract the goaltender on the Jerry shot.
Face off. Raiders win this one. Moved ahead quickly by Young. Far side into the zone. Pulling up at the boards is Cockrell. He gets wrapped up there right across the blue line in the offensive zone. Now it's stuck between some skates. Ferner trying to whack it out of there. finally pulled out by Dubinsky. One hands it to Shelberg. Stick handles the center. Pass behind Dubinsky all the way into the Colgate zone where the Raiders take over. Meyer and Stark go D to D. Flipped in deep to the RPI zone. It was tipped, they say, by Cockrell, so no icing here. Lob to center ice, knocked out of the air by Polino. Touch pass for the racing Dubinsky into the zone. Pulls up there, top of the zone. Dubinsky to the circle, a shot. That one was blocked down by Cosgrove. Polino takes over on the far side, poked away again by Cosgrove. He has time to look up ice on the far side of his own zone. Flip to the near side. Here's Young moving in 3-on-2. Young driving net, goes around, tries to center. Bouncing puck swatted out there by Johnson. That was a good 3 feet off the ice, and Johnson just whacked it out of the zone. Savory was trying to glove it as well. They're in the same vicinity, and the Raiders start over at center. Tip deep, Johnson back to get it for RPI. 11 to go in the second period, 2-0 Engineers lead. Shot off the near side wall for Gornell. Played along by Ashbrook. Ashbrook to center ice, back to Gornell. Into the zone, they come far side. Gornell pulls up, hash marks, cross ice feed, finds Johnson. Johnson to the slot, a shot, that one's blocked by a skate. Hit Panetta, and it'll be moved out by Manderville to center ice. On further, the defenseman is Stark into the zone. On his backhand, a shot saved by Savory, and he'll gobble up the rebound as it popped in the air. And we get a whistle.
Again, those defensemen, as we see Stark there coming in on the play, not afraid to jump up for Colgate. RPI continuing to find pressure. They've been gaining the line quickly, and again, that's because their passes have been on the tape through the neutral zone. Gornell and Ashbrook able to connect. Lepinen able to keep himself on side to create that opportunity. But again, Savory up to the task on Stark.
Face off to the right of Savory as now Penner is going to get tossed from the dot. Senior from Winnipeg. Replaced by Scharf. And another face-off win for RPI. Although they're tied up behind their own goal. Scharf trying to come away with it on the far side. Works it deep for Penner. Tyler Penner. Back to the point. Shot by Meyer way high. Hits off the glass behind Savory. Another chance. That one's turned away by the shoulder of Savory. Had to stand up to make that save. And the Raiders have taken over the shot lead here. There's a hooking attempt there. Shot on, and Savory denies Penner. It's going to be a hook.
Yes.
After all that, but Savory saved a goal on the near post.
Penner had it wide open. It was set up there by, I believe it was Scharf. Scharf had a breakaway opportunity early in the game that Savory snuffed out, and once again Savory up to the task. But Colgate leads in the shots advantage now 17-14 as RPI is going to go to the penalty box, and they're now going to have to kill off the first penalty of the night. And as I mentioned at the start of the period, you knew they were going to get one. Just had to even out at some point.
Colgate's power play, I don't think I've ever seen this, 5.1% on the year. And that is not good. The Engineers penalty kills second in the conference. They were 1 for 2 yesterday, but 86.1% on the year. So whatever Colgate's doing in the power play, Engineers have had some poor power plays in the recent history, but I don't think I've ever seen 5% before, Joe.
Yeah, that's not good.
A lot of chances, too. I guess that you need a lot of chances to get to 5%. But I digress here as the Raiders move it into the zone. Spun out by Ferner right away. 1:25 to go on the power play. 9.5 left in the second. Here comes Colgate. Cockrell. Drop pass. Meyer near side. Verboon into the zone. Young down low looking to backhand it to the near side point. Over to get it is Meyer. And he'll throw it up the wall for Young. That pass was broken up and it goes out to center. Halfway through the power play as the Raiders control in their own zone. Stark goes back behind his own goal. Pressure from Tuer Linden. Off for Panetta far side. He's an offensive weapon from the blue line, and he'll skate it into the zone. Tie up there, thrown back to the point. Scharf helps it right up, back up the wall. Now McMahon, top scorer for the Raiders, lost the puck, picked up and cleared by the Engineers. Linden all the way down. Jerry will go on, put some pressure here on Anthony Stark. As it's moved ahead by McMahon. McMahon into the attacking zone. All the way around the net. No, pull up in the corner, throw it cross ice. Rolling back to the point it goes. Kept in by Craig. He takes an awkward hit from Jerry. Puck loose in the RPI zone. Cleared to center by Jerry. Off the stick of Cosgrove. He'll track it down to his own blue line. 5 seconds to go in the power play. McMahon moving in. Has a step on Ferner. Pulls up there. Back to the far point. Craig, a shot. That one's blocked by Lappinen. Power play over. Colgate 0 for 1, and RPI maintains a 2-0 lead. Oh, a move there through the legs. Sharp, a backhand shot as he deked right through his man and had a backhander from the slot go into the corner. And that was a collision at center, and Scharf moves it back in. Poke check by Dubinsky. Scharf stays on it, falls down, throws it behind the goal. 7:42 to go in the second. Johnson drops it back for Ferner, and RPI looks to slow things down as they make a change. Long stretch pass far side, tipped in deep by Lappinen. Tour Linden out of the corner, trying to feed it back to the point. That's broken up by Lund. Lund goes behind the goal. Moving with it. Panetta to center, intercepted by Hallbauer at the blue line. They're onside as it's played to the near side for Jensen. Jensen in the corner, down low for Lund. Takes a shove from Linden. Back to the point for Panetta. Far side shot comes in. Easy glove stop as it's scooped up by Savory. As then Hallbauer and McAvoy get into it. And McAvoy throws one last shove and then throws his hands up saying he was done. That's not usually how it works. Anyway, Joe, 7:07 left in the second.
Yeah.
2-0 RPI on top.
Interesting that Colgate is 6-2-1 in ECAC play, and they're able to do that with a 5% power play. But
Right.
You don't normally see a winning team, especially in league play,
Right.
with such a low power play. But now RPI will go on the power play. It looks like McAvoy's roughing there just was whacking at Hallbauer. Hallbauer wasn't really, I think he was trying to maybe get one of those retaliation penalties on Hallbauer, but Hallbauer not giving in, and so now RPI will go in for a man advantage. 7:07 to go here in the second. RPI 2, Colgate 0. Once again, we'd like to thank the Rensselaer Union, which provides the funding for WRPI and all club-related activity of the Institute, including WRPI's coverage of RPI hockey, football, and baseball.
Well, Colgate's power play in league play, Joe, is 6.9%. 2 out of 29. So it's, I was trying to figure out how, you're right, that could possibly be. You know, 2 of their 4 power play goals, they're 2 for 59. Or excuse me, they're 2 for 50 outside the league.
Okay.
And then 2 for 29 in the league. 2 for 50.
But RPI now goes on the man advantage.
This is shot down ice quickly by the Raiders. A chance for RPI to really put to the Raiders at arm's length here on this power play. As moved in by Lappinen, he pulls up at the blue line, tried to throw up the wall for Ashbrook. Nice find. Ashbrook had to try and track it down behind the goal and finally does. Back up the boards for Lappinen to the blue line. Here's Hallbauer. Has Kjellberg with him, drops it back to Kjellberg. Near side Ashbrook. Back center blue line. Here's Kjellberg. Near point Ashbrook. A wrist shot and a save. Rebound pops out to Panetta and he sweeps it all the way down the ice. Quickly ahead from Savory trying to catch the Raiders on a change. Gornell has it at the near point. Into the zone he goes. Stick handling, trying to get by his man, and Meyer clears it down. This is the 3rd power play chance for RPI. They are 0 for 2, scoring both their goals. Even strength back in the first period. Patrick Polino and Chase Siki, couple of seniors, keeping up the string of senior scoring on this team this year. Babichuk into the far corner, gets sandwiched against the wall. 55 to go in the period. Out of the corner come the Engineers. Polino, a wrister. Oh, a left toe save made by Ferrier. Puck tied up in the near corner now. As it's cleared towards the blue line and all the way down. Out to play it is Savory again. As he leaves it behind for Babichuk. 33 to go on the Engineers' 3rd power play. Babichuk, stick handling to center, drops it off for Polino. Hesitation at the red line, moves it in near side, makes a move around one man, pulls up at the half wall. Indirect back to the point for Ziki. Ziki holding across. Here's Riley, top of the circle. Into the middle for Ziki. Off his stick. Clearing effort. Hits his own man. And the Engineers keep it alive in the zone. 10 to go in the power play. Far side Riley. Looking for a pass up top. He'll go cross ice to Polino. A shot. Oh, a glove save. On Ferrier. Or on Polino by Ferrier. Penalty about to expire. Now it's over. And now a pass to center. Sets up McAvoy and a breakaway. McAvoy walking in. Oh, Savory makes the stop again. How many is he going to turn away here? Another one-on-one chance, this time from the blue line in a breakaway for McAvoy. And he can't stuff it past the RPI netminder. Down low it goes behind the RPI goal. Colgate still in the attack. Point shot, Cosgrove, fluttering shot, saves Savory, and he pins it against his chest. And he gets a much-needed whistle. 4:35 left in the second. Still somehow 2-0 RPI.
Oh, and Savory, are you kidding me? How does he do this? Look, forehand, backhand, and then he gets another rebound chance there, but he comes all the way out of his crease. He closes off the angle, takes a whack at it with his stick. Again, you mentioned earlier, Savory getting more and more comfortable using his stick to poke check, and I think that's why we're seeing this strong play from him. So Owen Savory making those timely saves as RPI turns it over immediately after their power play ends. They send it up looking to get it to the point there, but instead it gets intercepted by McAvoy as he pops out of the box, and he goes in one-on-one, and Savory just cuts off the angle, doesn't give him anything, and he doesn't move. He doesn't fall for any of the dekes or fakes, and as a result, he snuffs it into the corner. And then a couple seconds later, he faces a puck that gets deflected through 6 different players, it seemed like, and then into the end. Any other, I really feel like it could have gone in at any moment, but Savory fouled it all the way into his chest. Offensive zone faceoff coming for the Raiders.
Yeah, we got faceoff coming up here. To the right of Savory, wrapped around Morello. Feeds it across for Linden. Linden into the zone, takes a wrister. That's covered up by Ferrier. Difficult save there.
Yeah, Linden just throwing it on Cage, maybe hoping for a kick-out rebound and then to get the second chance there. Not a bad play. RPI going to get an offensive zone face-off, and they can really kind of, if they win the face-off, they can run a set play here.
Moved out by the Raiders, shot all the way down. It'll deaden itself in the zone, so no icing here. Johnson has to play it. Worked up the far side, past his man, but it's not going to be icing here. To the near corner it goes. We approach 4 minutes to go in the second. Raiders look to shoot it near side, glove dodged by Verboon into the RPI zone, takes a wrist shot, was partially blocked by Ferner, but still finds the right pad of Savory, who kicks it to the near corner. Behind the goal, Verboon takes a look, trying to get away from Johnson. He gets roughed up there. Over to help out, as it's going to be picked up by Snodgrass now. John Snodgrass carrying back to the blue line. Here's Craig looking for a lane, takes a shot. That one caught the leg of a teammate. That was Verboon. Picked up in the far corner by Bowman. He'll just throw it to the near side, but it's a Raiders, the first one to it. Colgate able to get it changed, still on the attack. Passed out of the corner by Penner. Left behind the goal. Here's McMahon. This is not the group you want out there with a tired RPI unit. And it's played by Penner. Back to the point. Shot comes in. Saved by Savory. Bouncing puck juggled by McMahon. Loose in front. Shot comes Penner. And pounced on by Savory. Players lost sight of it. And it was Owen Savory who was the first to see it. And he got a much needed whistle here.
And that's the engineer that you want to see it when there's a play like that, when there's a scramble in front of the net. It's, as you mentioned, RPI had tire legs, and Penner was out there with McMahon and Sharp. RPI, they're going to have to, if Colgate is playing really well right now, and if they keep this up, they're going to put one in. Savory can only save you so many times, and so they're going to need to pick up their play here if they want to come away with a win, because it's only a 2-goal lead. Colgate gets one back, and they only need one more to tie it up.
Right off the draw, saved by Savory. Puck tips to the near side. Penner. Now Babichuk across. Riley takes a look. Backhanded out of the zone by the Engineers. Cosgrove across. Scharf wheels and plays it into the zone. Raiders are still offside as Riley takes a hit. He gets it ahead to Gornell, who shoots it deep. Tie up along the near side boards. Raiders end. Finally it comes free to Penner, who goes behind the goal. Played there by Stark. He throws it far side. Tough handle for Scharf. RPI takes over. Chelberg fakes a shot. Top of the circle. Moving in. Shot over the top. Caroms around to the near side where the Raiders have it. And they break to center. Glove down there by Ferner. Thrown back up the boards. Now a chance for Gordo to break in. Mike Gordo on the breakaway. A move, and he's turned aside. Looks like he got whacked on the way to the net. Fans want to call. Not going to get it here. As it's moved ahead, here's Cosgrove into the zone. Or Cockrell. Now their shot comes in. Oh, I don't know how that can go. And now DeGrande back the other way. DeGrande taps it around one man. Now it's a 3-on-1. DeGrande fanning once. Second try, they score! Billy Jerry taps it home, and it's 3-0 RPI.
And Danny DeGrande with all kinds of energy on that play. He set that up. He banked it off the boards, and he's going to go through for the lineup for the handshake. He may have tapped that home, but Danny DeGrande with a beautiful setup there. Jerry got the initial shot up. DeGrande may have gotten into the rebound, and that'll be the second goal of the season and the second goal of his career. So he gets it. Oh, it deflected off a Cockrell. That's how it got in. So DeGrande gets credit for the goal as it deflected off a Cockrell who was on the trailer for Jerry. But nonetheless, a good play from Danny DeGrande.
As it's tied up in the far corner, Zeke waiting for it, chips it out to center ice. And it'll be played by McAvoy, trying to tap it into the zone. Now Zeke has it for the Engineers. Moving in, drop pass there. Polino trying to feed it out in front. It's intercepted. And the Raiders move it back through neutral ice. 1 minute to go in the second period. RPI now leads 3-0, but they turn it over in the neutral zone. It's a 4-on-3. Trying to make a move is Cosgrove. He'll carry it down low before taking a hit from Polino. Lost the puck. McAvoy far side, wrapped up by Johnson. He's tied up right in front of the Zamboni door in the RPI end of the ice. Puck just bounces up in the air. Dubinsky trying to pin it again. Now it's juggled to the far side for McAvoy. Into the slot, all the way through to Meyer. Takes a slap shot save by Savory as Lund was tied up in front. Another try. That one caught Dubinsky up high, and it trickles to the far side of the RPI zone. Dubinsky picks it up now with 22 to go. He'll lob it high in the air and down the ice. It will be no icing. They wave it off late. Here's Stark. Stretch pass tipped into the zone by Snodgrass, and now played by Savory far side. 7 seconds to go in the period. Tied up in the far corner of the RPI end. Snodgrass trying to get away from Riley. He's jamming at it. Now that'll do it for the period. So the Engineers, after all of that, on the 20 minutes back and forth, it is RPI who adds a goal. Billy Jerry netting his second of the season after, as Joe mentioned, great work from Daniel DeGrande. He was going to end up with his first collegiate assist on the play. RPI goes up 3-0 after 2.
Yeah, Danny DeGrande, again, just almost, it was like a self-pass. You're not allowed to do a self-pass in basketball, but you are in hockey here as
Thank
he
goodness.
banks it off. As he banks it off the boards to himself, gets it by the defender, and then just centers it there for Jerry, who just crashes it home. As RPI now takes a 3-0 lead. And that line, they haven't gotten much ice time tonight, but when they've been out there, they've been providing a ton of energy, as we saw there. Tommy Lee also was streaking in on the play. He had his stick waving, ready to fire it. Ferner will also get an assist on that goal as well. But now, after RPI got shut out last night, 3-0 to Cornell, they're flipping the script here tonight. But we still got one more period to play. Once again, you're listening to live coverage of RPI Men's Hockey on 91.5 FM, WRPI Troy.
shots in this one are 25-19 Colgate. Face-offs 24-19 RPI. So Raiders have caught up in that regard. Engineers have blocked 11 shots. Colgate's blocked 8. RPI up 3-0 despite 0 for 3 on the power play. Raiders are 0 for 1 on the man advantage.
Yes, RPI finding a way to score at even strength, which is always good because that's where most of the game is played at. Once again, it is Autism Awareness Night here at the Houston Fieldhouse.
It is. All set. 5-on-5 hockey as we begin the third. Engineers will be skating from right to left, trying to pick up the weekend split after falling to Cornell yesterday. 3-0.
Yes, RPI has made a knack for splitting the weekends here, and they've split half of their weekends, and or 5 of their 8 weekends, and four of them have come in in a similar fashion where they have lost the first game and then came roaring back in the second game.
The only weird scores in the league right now, I think you mentioned them, Joe, but Union leads Cornell 2-1.
Yeah,
that's a weird one. And then Princeton and St. Lawrence are scoreless in the third period.
Yeah, Union probably a little upset after their loss last night to Colgate. A tight one.
Yeah, you could be upset and still not be able to beat Cornell, was my point. Anyway, RPI breaks into the zone. 3-on-3. Shot from Kjellberg hit his shin pad as we go racing into the third period now. Here is Stark for the Raiders. Takes a hit there from Ferner, and Ferner clears the zone. Back to his own end now is Ross Craig, former Cornwall Colt. Gets it as far as center. Ferner takes a hit, carried back into the zone by Gornall. That one would have been onside, but the Raiders take over and flip it back to center anyway. Here's Will Riley in his own end. Takes a look. Long pass to center, played by Gornall. Touch pass, Ashbrook. Nice move, the red line. Moving in, Ashbrook. Pope checked away by Panetta. Back comes McKechnie. He gets ridden to the ice by Gornall. As the puck goes into the far corner. Cockrell there. Out of the corner. Circle shot. Ramps up the stick of Babachuk and out of play. We get our first stoppage of the third. 18:51 on the clock. It's 3-0 RPI.
And I know Riley hasn't scored, but he's also been oddly quiet tonight, I think, for the Engineers, which is strange for him. Normally you'll see him make a couple highlight reel plays, but it's a pretty good sign that RPI is up 3-0 without their superstar being able to make a super duper offensive impact, but he has made good defensive plays.
For sure.
So give him credit where it's due.
2 shots for Riley and a +1. That gets him to +9 on the year, leads the team. There's a shot from a tight angle from Young, was turned away by Savory. Bowman lost it on the handle, flipped back into the near corner of the RPI zone. Morello trying to clear to center, kept in by the Raiders. Cosgrove walking in, feeds it across. Another centering feed that never got through. Maybe one too many passes, and now a shot by Cosgrove and a save by Savory, who's been so quick going post to post, especially in this one. But really, that's what he's. One of his better traits is his lateral mobility, and that time he got across to make the save. Meyer ahead for Snodgrass. Raiders move it in, shoved by Johnson, played by Hallbauer. Johnson ahead for Bowman, off of him, but it falls right into the path of Lee. Lee in the zone 1-on-2, trying to make a move to the net. Runs into a pair of Raiders. One of them was Verboon, and the other Panetta, and the puck comes free. And this one's an offside on the Engineers as Jerry was across the blue line, and puck left the zone and came back in quickly. 17:43 to go third period. 3-0 Engineers.
Yeah, Lee doing another nice showcasing that speed that he has there. Gets sandwiched in between 2 defenders, but also almost able to slip his way through for another nice scoring chance.
Face-off win for Colgate to center. Into the zone it goes. Hallbauer over to get it. Shovels it near side, played by Snodgrass, who's held by Lee. He's going to take a penalty. Tommy Lee grabbed a hold of the back of Snodgrass, and a pretty easy call for the official, as Colgate's going to go on its second power play of the night.
And they'll look to be a little more successful on this one.
So Ari with the shot advantage. Colgate goes on its second power play. Shots in this period, we don't have any yet, but I thought we had one. Maybe it was wide. I don't know. Maybe I'm delirious. Power play for Colgate, though.
RPI penalty with 13 lead. 2 minutes for holding at 2:35.
Stark up the wall, played by Panetta. He goes down low with it. McMahon. Sliding poke check there, gets the job done by Ferner, but they stay in the offensive zone to the Raiders. Here's McMahon on the near side. One-timer save on the pad. Another try. McMahon, he fanned on the shot. Back to the point, it goes for Stark. Back to McMahon. Passes on the wrong side, has to gather and allows Savory time to recover. Then make the glove save on the shot. McMahon, he's a lefty. He wanted that puck on his forehand, and Stark gave it across to his backhand, and that just a little bit of time, Joe, allows the defense to set up a little bit, and Savory as well to kind of adjust himself and get set for that shot. McMahon got a lot easier.
And Polino also did a nice job there right in the goal mouth, holding the stick down, using his stick to hold down the stick and not allow the Colgate to get a shot off in that low area where Savory was on the far post.
27 shots now for the Raiders to RPI's 19, but it's the Engineers in front 3-0. Moved up the boards by Cosgrove. And now Craig back to Cosgrove. Shot was blocked by Gornall. Back to Cosgrove. Fires it off the end wall. Picked up by Snodgrass. As the Engineers moving out to center. Short-handed. Here they come 2-on-2. Ashbrook trying to play it across. Intercepted easily by Cosgrove. And back from the Raiders. Yeah. First time RPI was able to get onto the zone. Now to the near point. Craig across. Cosgrove down low. Gets it back from McKechnie. 48 to go on the Colgate power play. A big spot in this game early in the third. Shot comes in, blocked by Ashbrook. Didn't know anything about it. It'll ride the dasher all the way behind the goal. Snodgrass has it knocked away. Gornall finds a lane and shoots it all the way down. Ferrier behind his own goal leaves it there as both teams will change. It'll be moved out by the Raiders. Stark, far side, flipped into the zone by McMahon. He tries to find it, pops in the air, played there by Scharf. McMahon again has his stick lifted and gets undercut there by Ferner. Goes into the corner. Ferner trying to help it behind the goal. Poked away by Young. Wrapped to the near side point. That one leaves the zone on Stark. He'll go cross ice with it, and it spins back into Colgate territory. Is out of the box. Comes Lee, and the Engineers are 2 for 2 on the kill.
And Owen Savory now 120 straight minutes without giving up a goal.
Well, you've done it, Joe. I'm just kidding. It's fed down ice. This is going to be on goal from the RPI end, as it'll be helped aside by Ferrier. Shot in by the Raiders. Jensen to the near side corner. Lund down low. Around the net it goes. Picked up by Dubinsky. Shoots it near side. Kept in the zone by Craig. Back to the point. Tough handle. RPI takes over. 2-on-2. Zeke with Dubinsky. Zeke trailing is was Klee. Doesn't use him. Ends up losing the puck along the far side, but does get it deep. Lund up the boards. Nearly stolen away by Polino. Now Lund has it again. Meyer behind his own goal. Near side for Craig. Ross Craig to center. Drops it back for Meyer. He'll cross the red line, just dump it in. Tap to the far side. Good hit there by Klee. Lifted up the boards. Engineers move it to center. Zeke trying to throw it across where Dubinsky gets shoved right back to him. Oh, a nice move to the blue line there by Polino. Polino trying to walk in. Polino around the net to the near side for Hallbauer. And now Hallbauer will stick handle behind the goal. Kyle Hallbauer on the move. Still on it in the far circle. Still Hallbauer. Holds it at the near point, tries to go down low to Zeke. That'll hop in the air into the netting, and we'll get a whistle. 13:47. We saw some good-looking stick handling there from first Polino, then Hallbauer. No shot came from it, but it was pretty at the time.
Yeah, and Jacob Panetta and Chase Zeke going after it a little bit with each other after the play there, as some frustration probably starting to settle in for the Raiders. But yes, RPI doing a nice job. 13:47 to go here. They're up 3-0 over the Colgate Raiders. Raiders unable to really do much. They had that power play set up in the offensive zone, but RPI did a nice job of kind of preventing a lot of cleaning up a lot of those passing lanes and not giving them the opportunity to get passes in close towards Savory and just kind of clear away all the junk that got sent through.
So 13:47 to go in the period. The Raiders have two of the first three shots of this frame. RPI's came from a length of the ice effort, but it counts none just the same. Owen Savory, the reigning ECAC hockey MAC goaltending goalie of the week after his 25 save shutout against St. Lawrence last Friday. Hadn't played since. We saw Marshall and Calvaruso last night. But Savory's showing it off again here. Why he's been so good.
Yeah, and he had a really good second set of the season last year, and he's continuing it here this weekend.
Johnson off the draw. Shot comes in, hit a skate. It'll be Verboon behind his own goal. Shot to the near side. Stolen away by Morello. Morello stick handling top of the zone. Lost the puck. Snodgrass back the other direction. 2-on-2. Flips up the boards too far out in front of Verboon. And now back comes Bowman. Nick Bowman into the zone. Pulls up and tries to find his man cutting to the net. It was Linden. That didn't work out. Back comes Snodgrass for Colgate. Into the attacking zone. Shot was partially blocked by Johnson. Goes behind the cage. Verboon. Far side. Has to deal with the Hallbauer. Now he takes a shot. Deflects up into the netting and out of play. And we get a stoppage. 13:06 left third period. And RPI still leading this one 3-0.
Again, Colgate continuing to press here as we take a look at some of the stats. The face-offs are now 25 for RPI, 24-1 for Colgate. So Colgate closing that gap. At one point, it was 20-9, and as a result, they're getting some extra pressure.
Yep. Face-offs have been swung in the Raiders' favor as this one has gone along after a great start for RPI. I know RPI wins this draw, and is Riley trying to lob it ahead, looking for the over-the-top route from Gornall. It doesn't work out. McKechnie shoots it into the RPI zone. Bouncing puck will settle for Riley. Shoots it off the end board, stolen away. Oh, Cockrell, good interception by Babichuk, defending that passing lane. And now here comes Leppin into the zone, makes a move, takes a shot off the mask of Ferrier. And it'll go behind. It'll be picked up there by the Raiders. Lob to center by Young. Bouncing puck. Engineers take over in their own zone. RPI trying to learn another lesson here or give one on closing out a game. And how do you do it? RPI hasn't had a ton of these situations in recent history, but looking to improve in these type areas. The more you get, the more you kind of figure out how to do it. Raiders move it in, trying to center all the way through. Good back check by Dubinsky. Just got his body in good position. Did not allow Cockrell to get on the end of that. Shelberg flips it far side, intercepted by McMahon. Near side, Cosgrove gets shoved by Shelberg. Kept in the zone by Bobby McMahon. It'll go behind the cage. Centering pass all the way through. McMahon picks it up on the near side circle. He feeds it right through the top of the crease again. Nobody home. Polino's going to pick it up and lob to center. Bouncing there. Kicked at by Meyer. And the Raiders trying to move it back in along the near side. It's Penner. He lost the handle. Stolen away by McMahon, who shoots into the zone. This is going to be no icing. It's beaten out by Scharf. He takes a hit from Ferner and goes down. Puck comes free to Riley. Through center, tipped into the zone by DeGrande, who's actually has the third RPI goal. I thought it was Jerry, but no. There's a shot comes in, saved by Savory. Loose puck. I think the light went on there.
That puck did not go in.
Certainly did not. Now another shot comes in. Savory makes a stop and holds on to that one. I saw something flash behind the goal. I'm not sure what it was. Anyway, 11:04 left. That
could have been a camera.
Could have been, yeah, you're right. But Savory keeping everything out right now. 11:04 to go in the third. 3-0 Engineers.
So DeGrande does get credit for it. My eye was correct.
Right, it hit the defenseman, right.
But a comment I wanted to make there, The line of Leppinen, Gornell, and Ashbrook has done they've got to the point that they don't even have to look at each other and they can pass it to each other. They're just moving up and down the ice so quickly. It's impressive to watch, and they're all like, I've seen them kick the pucks to each other without even looking.
Face-off win for the Engineers in their own zone. Morello takes a look, cross ice, just too far out in front of Linden, and he beats out the icing. Linden down in the far corner now, battles with Panetta. Bowman tried to sweep in and grab it. That didn't work. Puck still along the wall far side. Good poke check by Bowman that time. Picked up by Linden, trying to find Morello. He's tied up in the slot, and the puck comes loose to the far side where it's cleared out by Stark. Here comes Lund into the zone. Stick handling on his backhand, far circle, spins around, tries the center, bounces back out to center ice, where it's played there by Craig. Meyer far side, flips it in off the boards and chases on his own. Met in the corner by Klee. Klee trying to shovel up the far side. That's broken up, stays in the far corner. Colgate takes over there. Knocked down in the corner was Verboon as it wraps to the near side. Picked up Morello. He'll feed it down the middle dangerously. Snodgrass picks it off. Played far side. Near point Craig. Morello goes down in front to deny a shot. Thrown off the end wall off a cross point feed, and that'll be cleared out to center inadvertently by the Raiders. Snodgrass trying to play it back to the point. The defenseman couldn't handle it. Savory will try the near side. Intercepted by Verboon. To the point where it's kept in by Cosgrove just off the bench. Klee leans on his man. That's Snodgrass along the far side. Snodgrass feeds it back to the point. Wrist shot coming. Panetta over the top of the net. 9.5 to go in the third period. 3-0 RPI, but the Raiders have had the puck pinned in the RPI zone for quite some time. Here's Panetta, near point for Cosgrove. Cosgrove a wrister, intentionally wide into the far side corner. Panetta picks it up on the other side, takes a tight angle shot, kicked away by Savory, goes behind the goal. Again, the Raiders getting to every 50-50 right now. Cosgrove back to the point, shot comes in, hit his own man, goes behind the goal. Riley finally gets a touch for RPI, and now here's Tour Linden. He gets run into, lost the puck. That was Young providing the pressure. Tie up in the near corner RPI zone. Shot coming, Young flutters over the top of the net. Now McKechnie, he takes a shot. That one goes behind the goal. Shot deflected on, and Savory, in desperate need of a whistle, gets it here as he pins that shot against his chest. It wasn't a lot of hard shots there, but a couple of floaty ones that Savory had to deal with, and finally he's able to hold on to one.
Yeah, and Mason Klee and Will Riley both going to the bench with just their hands on their knees. They're absolutely gassed right now, so a huge stoppage here for RPI. Good job by Owen Savory to cover that up. And one of the things I noticed when you mentioned Colgate winning all of those 50-50 battles along the boards, Mason Klee would do a good job of separating his man from the puck. He'd hold his man up against the board, but then there would be no help there to come sweep the puck away, and so Colgate would send a man in and they'd come away with it. I'm not exactly sure what the strategy is on those type of plays, but I feel like Klee knew exactly what he was doing. Klee was pinning his man up against the boards and and then kicking at the puck and separating it, but the Raiders coming away with it each and every time.
Yeah, RPI backed into its own zone for a while now, and we will see. You know, they do have the advantage of being up 3-0. If this is a 2-0 lead or a 1-0 lead, obviously a different situation, but they can afford to be a little more conservative about how they try and clear things out and just keep forcing Colgate to the outside right now, and maybe try to stem the tide that way.
8:42 to go in the third. You're listening to live coverage of RPI hockey on 91.5 FM WRPI Troy.
Bouncing puck near side of the RPI zone. It'll be kept in by Penner. Down low for McMahon. He's wrapped up by Ferner. Still McMahon all the way to the far side corner. Watched by Johnson now. Throws it to the near side. Craig pinching in. And now McMahon top of the zone. Watched by Johnson all the way. Shot in a late redirection. Savory made the stop. A huge save there. And we played to center past everybody and all the way down. This will be icing on RPI. But Savory had to be quick with the reactions there. The shot came in. I don't know if he saw it right away or not. Didn't look like it, but may have changed direction as well.
Yeah, Colgate's certainly pressing here. They want to get one. 8:07 to go. RPI up 3-0, but Colgate does not want to come away empty-handed here.
Face-off coming up in the RPI end. Won by the Engineers. Played far side. Gornell chips it all the way down. And this is going to be icing again on RPI. 7:59 to go. You are listening to live coverage of Engineers Hockey, 91.5 FM, WRPI Troy. Per Lascaris, Joe Pisacano here at the Houston Fieldhouse.
Yeah, Gornell with just a little too much strength on that clear. All he had to do was chip it out to neutral ice and then let the Engineers play, but he elects to sling it all the way down. Another face-off coming for Ashbrook.
Union is taking a 3-2 lead on Cornell, so they go back and forth over in Schenectady with 9 minutes to go. Shot in to the RPI end. Tie up in the far corner. Gornell goes down. Continues to fight for it, or Ashbrook rather. Gornell now finds Ashbrook, and RPI is able to move it out to center ice. Here, touch pass there, and oh, Ashbrook tried to drag his toe, but he ran out of toe. And we're going to get a penalty here. Interference away from the puck, and this is going to be very costly here for Colgate.
Yeah, I didn't
even see it. Clearly it was away from the puck. I didn't see it. But it's going to be Josh McKechnie, junior from Calgary, going off, and it's just a penalty you can't take at this point.
Yeah, because, I mean, Colgate had all the pressure. They were in the offensive zone for countless chances there, and now RPI is going to get another chance on the power play.
And RPI just broken out of the zone. They just broke to neutral ice. There wasn't a threat, really, from RPI, but McKechnie takes the penalty anyway. Here's Zeke, a drive, hammers it off the back glass, kicked around behind, and a clearing effort will go into the Colgate bench. Wasn't touched by Babachuk is the question. They're saying no, the faceoff's going to stay in the Colgate zone. They're not going to allow the Raiders to change.
Yeah, it goes, but I think it actually hit the back of the glass on the bench there because it came flying back into play.
Babachuk tried to glove it, which is why I thought it might have hit him, but I guess not. Fourth power play for RPI, they're 0 for 3. Clearing all the way down on the Raiders. As Savory will just let that one roll. It'll be picked up by Babachuk. Offensive D-man is Corey Babachuk. Gotta think his two-way play will improve as he gets older. He's already pretty solid on both ends of the ice. Coach Smith will tell you that. This one wraps around to the far side of Polino. Now here's Zeke. Up the wall for Polino. Now Dubinsky tried to spin it out in front with a blind backhand pass that was easily picked by Penner and cleared all the way down. Babachuk does have 7 points on the year, a goal and 6 assists. Does not have a point tonight. Mention Owen Savory picked up the secondary assist on RPI's third goal. That's his third assist of the year. As it'll be poked to center by Stark, who battles with Babachuk. Bouncing puck at center. It'll be a hand pass, I think. See what they say. Or offside. 6:24 to go, third period. 3-0 RPI. 48 seconds left on RPI's fourth power play.
The second part of the power play not going the way the Engineers want. They haven't been able to cleanly enter the zone. Now the Engineers bring out Bowman with Linden and Morello. Not a group you normally see on this unit.
Face-off win here for the Engineers at neutral ice. A little more power play time left, trying to improve on their about 16% power play on the year right now. Here is Linden. Shot coming, one-time try there from Hallbauer. There's a righty shot from the left circle, so it's not the easiest one-timer, but he got it away quickly.
Yeah, a wicked little snapper there right from the dot. Ferrier up to the task, but Hallbauer dangerous nonetheless. Offensively, he hasn't had a phenomenal season for the Engineers compared to last year. He's got just 2 assists compared to last year, where he had 3 goals and 8 assists. But he's still a danger from the blue line.
22 seconds left on the power play for RPI. Hallbauer will start things out from behind his own goal. 3 RPI goals and 6 assists among them, but no multi-point players right now for the Engineers. Everybody's got one that has one. Chelbert at the point, wrist shot coming off the crossbar and into the netting. Is still 1 second on the power play. That would have been a power play goal if it found the bottom side of the bar, but Shelberg hit the top side. It goes out of play.
So much power on that shot there from Shelberg at the point. Just a wrist shot all the way out from the point there. Normally you see a shot like that and it hits the crossbar and goes flying out of the stands. It's normally a slap shot there, but for Shelberg, all he needs is a wrist shot to just showcase his strength.
So another draw here. And that'll do it for the power play. But the Engineers win this face-off anyway. Babichuk fan on the shot. It'll go out to center. Colgate's linesman on the far side got struck by one up high. And he's going to need a break. I don't know why they don't blow the whistle here. It looks like he's recovered quickly. That's toughness right there from the linesman on the far side as he said, no, go on. Just give me a half second to breathe. And he's back dealing with a scuffle at center ice. Now we got a penalty coming up. Here's Gornall caught. Who is that over there? Vachon up high. Now a shot comes in. Savory makes a save. We got stuff going on everywhere. They didn't stop the play there. RPI is going to get a power play. It's going to be a rough on Gornall.
Yeah, really an unnecessary penalty to take there for Gornall.
He caught Arnaud Vachon up high, the freshman center for the Raiders. There'll be a third power play for Colgate with 5:10 to go. And a bit of a lifeline here for Colgate, which trails 3-0. They get another power play chance. Although we mentioned their putrid power play earlier. I guess you can't get better at it without more chances.
That's true. So RPI will skate 5-on-4 here as the Raiders look to try and break through.
Face off to Savory's left. He has stopped all 33 he has faced so far. 19 saves on 22 shots at the other end for Andrew Ferrier. It is played behind the RPI goal, picked up by Linden. He'll clear down the middle. That one eludes Stark. Back behind his own net he goes for Colgate to restart. 5 minutes to go in the third. Scharf will tip this one deep. Behind the goal it goes. Johnson taps it far side. Polino takes a look. Maybe the Engineers will skate 2-on-2, although bit of a misplay there by Polino, but Engineers killing a penalty don't really mind as they can just back up and set their forecheck up here. Flipped off of Ferner, and he's able to knock it down and clear at his own blue line. RPI will change all 4 penalty killers. As once again the Raiders move it out of their own zone. Cosgrove far side moving in. Verboon in deep it goes. Mason Klee gets wrapped up behind the cage. 6 players behind the goal, 3 each way, and it's finally an Engineer Dubinsky who comes away with it and fires it down. Stopped behind the goal by Ferrier halfway through the power play. And 4 minutes to go in the contest. McKechnie into the zone far side. Good poke check Riley, and he clears it down. Raiders have not sniffed offensive zone possession in this man advantage thus far. They've gotten across the line a couple of times, but met with immediate clearances. Now Snodgrass gets it in deep. Ferner takes a look, lost it there. Now they can finally set up with 26 seconds to go on the power play. Craig across for Cosgrove. Another penalty coming up here. No, they're going to pull the extra attacker here for Colgate. Off to the bench goes Ferrier, 6-on-4. 16 seconds on the power play, 3.5 to go in the third period. Here is Verboon up top. Receives the pass, top of the near circle, drops it back off again for Craig. 4 seconds to go in the power play. Down low, redirected on goal, saved by Savory, and he covers it up with the pads, and out of the box is Gornall, and I don't know how he kept that one out.
Savory laying back in the coffin there.
My goodness. Another look at it from the top down view. That was wild.
Thanks, around. He had, Cockrell tried to punch it in there, but Savory had it all closed up. Again, he makes the initial save. It's under his padding.
Yeah. Squeeze the legs together. It's between his legs at some point there.
Yeah. Savory just laying back in the cage and praying for a whistle. But 3:10 to go here. RPI kills off the power play as back in the box, back into the cage goes Ferrier. But I think it's a smart move there from Brown to come out, skate 6-on-4 for a little bit. You're down 3. You got to get one back quickly somehow. So if you want to make it any type of a game, so why not pull the netminder with a power play and just 3 minutes remaining in the game? I like the aggression. RPI will skate even now.
Draw here to the left is Savory. Halfway out of his net is Ferrier. Quick shot blocked by Lepinin up into the netting. And Scharf turns and can't believe it. Another chance there for the Raiders, gone by the wayside.
Yeah, Scharf's had a couple opportunities where he's been robbed tonight.
Another face-off near side RPI zone. Riley going to shoot it out far side. Gornell, and now backing up is the goaltender Ferrier as RPI had the puck in the offensive zone. Now they have it again. Ashbrook walking in. Toe drag shot save. Rebound pop to the near side corner. A good effort there by Ashbrook. As now we got a penalty coming up here on the Raiders. Ashbrook, a shot and a save by Ferrier. A touch of the puck. It's going to be a board on Colgate here with 2:46 left, and you can almost put this one on ice, Joe.
Yeah, I mean, RPI, they came out tonight and they played. Just an update on the Cornell Union game. Cornell has tied it up with 5:04 to go in the third.
Not surprised.
Yes, but RPI, also another thing I want to talk about is just Zach Dubinsky and Tristan Ashbrook, 2 freshmen that came in, and they, for the most part, they've taken the top 2 center spots. They usually play pretty even with Tor Linden, but 2 freshmen that have really had great seasons. Both have 7 points on the year.
Power play for RPI, leading 3-0 with 2.5 to go in the third. Riley down low, gets it back along the half wall. Right back down low they go. Centering pass, one-timer Bowman, and he was denied there by a great stop by Ferrier.
Yeah, Ferrier didn't look like he knew where it was, but a great setup there for Bowman. Bowman didn't waste any time handling the puck, just immediately flicked it towards the cage, and I think that's why Ferrier had trouble seeing it.
Face off here, won by the Raiders. As it's dumped in to the far side, gathered up there by Riley, and now here's Morello. Morello across for Bowman. Moving in, Bowman stick handling, lost it there. Slammed out of the zone by Colgate once more. And Savory will stop it behind his own cage. Shots are 34-25 now in favor of the visiting Raiders. But it's RPI with 3 goals in the game. Polino Ziki in the first, De Grande in the second. Nothing so far here in the third, in which Colgate has held a 9-6 shot edge, but Savory has stood tall, and the Engineers have defended reasonably well. Here comes Polino into the zone near side, pulls up at the circle, feeds it across. Hallbauer behind his intended target. That was Dubinsky. Hallbauer picks it up again, finds Dubinsky. Far side connection. Ziki indirect to the far point. Kjellberg. Shot comes Kjellberg. That one's blocked down to the near side. Picked up Hallbauer. Hallbauer, another one. And that one's turned away by Ferrier. Raiders have it in their own zone. Stark flipped it down the middle. That'll be stopped by Savory easily and turned aside. It probably his easiest stop of the game officially on that shot, if you will, is 35th of the evening. Poked away from Kjellberg, picked up by Gornell. Gornell near side circle, moves it up the wall. Behind the goal he goes, takes a hit from Panetta. And now turned up ice by McMahon. Penalty about to expire. Colgate is back to even. McMahon trying to go coast to coast, and his shot was blocked by Kjellberg. 40 seconds to go. Colgate can't lift their netminder because RPI's on the attack. Ashbrook takes a hit behind the goal, and another as he gets spun to the ice. And the Raiders have it once more. Center ice they come, dumped into the RPI zone. 25 seconds to go. Snodgrass Near side corner, puck behind the cage. Shot coming, and a stop there on Cosgrove as he took a rip from the wall, and the fans are applauding that as well. 14.6 left, and RPI up 3-0.
Yeah, and it looks like Ferrier is going to stay in the cage here as he has his helmet off behind the play, so they're not going to try and set anything up. 6-on-5 here. But overall, oh no, he is going. He's going
off, yeah.
Towards the bench, so 6-on-5 here with 14.6 to go.
Face-off win for the Raiders. Cosgrove. Snodgrass, or excuse me, a shot there comes in, goes wide from Craig. That one hit the side of the post. Cover up by Savory with 4 seconds left.
Ooh.
And now we get Cockrell and Johnson in a wrestling match behind the goal. What do you see, Joe?
I just see frustrations building.
Okay.
I think RPI also is very defensive of their netminder. So Savory clearly has the puck covered up here.
Yeah.
He's got it in his stick. He has his stick down. And Cockrell then jams his stick in towards Savory. And Savory kind of gets up and goes, yo, what are you doing, dude? And Johnson says, I'm going to put you in a headlock.
Yeah. I had no problem with any of that. The shot was a tough handle. He hit the post that Savory was up against, and he had to kind of corral it and not give up a rebound there. It looked like he had it covered the whole way, which is why the engineers took exception to what Cockrell was doing.
Yeah, the play was long dead.
Right.
I thought. I mean, he had the puck for.
He's going to take a penalty here for probably goalie interference.
Yeah, play under review. There was just no reason for Cockrell to jam his stick in towards Savory. And as a defender, you never want to see a player doing that.
And with 4 seconds left, they're going to review something.
No, I'm not sure what.
What I think.
They send Cockrell to the box.
I'm going to start putting someone in a headlock if they review this. I'm gonna.
I don't think they're reviewing it for a goal.
Well, all they can do is review it for a 5-minute major, and a misconduct. So
Cockrell's definitely going to the box here.
I feel like they should still do this after the final horn.
Yeah.
Even though it's not,
It wasn't a scoring play by any stretch of the imagination.
I'm gonna send down for Johnson to put someone else in the headlocks because this does not need to be extended like this.
You hear that, Jake? Hear that, Jake Johnson?
4.1 seconds left. Hope this is a quick review. They're out of the box. Well, they got a penalty on, I believe, just Cockrell. They're going to send him.
They're sending him into dressing room.
They're kicking him out. Let's see what the call is. 5-minute major for grabbing the face mask and a game misconduct. So Cockrell's gone with 4.1 left. That was what the review was for. Face masking is the penalty. Someone will have to serve the penalty, what's left of it, or what's left of the game.
So RPI, they get an offensive zone face.
They get a power play. Yeah, they get their 5th power play here for 4.1.
And they bring out DeGrande, Lee, Jerry with Ferner and Johnson.
You're saying it's not a power play unit?
No, I'm saying that's the tough guy unit.
Oh, okay.
And I think Coach Smith wants to make sure that there's no extracurriculars here at the end of the game, because that's who you want on the ice if that breaks out.
Vachon will serve the penalty for what it's worth. Face off here, one back to the point, 1 second. A drive from Johnson who wanted retribution and didn't get it. Now Lee
Tommy Lee puts in the rebound.
After the horn.
And again, they go over to rough him up there. That was Ross Craig there. And Tommy Lee upset because he was looking for his first goal of the season and the first goal of his career as well. So a couple more seconds there, and Tommy Lee may have had it. But nonetheless, Owen Savory, I do not jinx him. He gets his second straight shutout.
Yep, second straight personal shutout for Owen Savory as he stops all 37 shots he faces here tonight. So his first shutout for his career was a 43 saver against Union in the Mayor's Cup last year. Then he stopped 25 against St. Lawrence on the road. Now he gets a 37 save shutout here. It's the first home shutout since Chase Perry against Harvard back on January 13th, 2017. It's been a while since the Engineers have posted one at home. And the first shutout of Colgate since Lyndon Marshall in the playoffs last year.
Yes, and that's also RPI's first win, home win of the new decade.
You're right. And it's a big one because RPI goes back to 500 in the league. They're 6-6-1 in the conference, 9-11-1 overall. The Raiders, they dropped to 8-10-4 on the season, 6-3-1 in the league, and a team that RPI is chasing. Colgate, they'll get a chance to play them again on the road later on this year.
So RPI gets an all-important 2 points as they'll tie Colgate in the standings here, and I believe it's going to be another three-way tie for fourth, depending on the outcomes of the rest of the games. We've got a couple updates here as Cornell is still tied with 13 seconds to go in the third period with Union. Princeton officially takes the victory over St. Lawrence 1-0 in overtime. So that's another ECAC game. And then some out of conference. Arizona State has a 3-1, takes the 3-1 victory over Brown. And Boston University has a 4-3 lead over Dartmouth. Meanwhile, you've got the classic Harvard-Yale matchup, and this one's at the New York Madison Square Garden. Harvard has a 2-0 lead with 17:35 to go in the second period. So another exciting one there, an Ivy League classic matchup. Then Quinnipiac and Clarkson here. The score is 4-2, and it is, I believe that is the end of the game here for them. So Clarkson will get another victory here as they continue their dominance. And Quinnipiac loss is good for RPI because that means they'll move just closer into the standings. Now we will do a quick summary of the game here and run through the scoring. It was all RPI as after last night being down 3, they lost 3-0. Tonight they win 3-0 over Colgate, and Savory, of course, gets his third career shutout and second in as many games. So Owen Savory starting to make a case that it is his net. 16-12 into the first period. Patrick Polino nets the first goal, a beauty that was assisted by Jake Johnson and Mason Klee. Mason Klee, the son of Ken Klee, gets his first collegiate point, and it's a secondary assist. Again, he made that play at the blue line. He kept it in, but then elected to drop it back to Johnson. RPI gets back on science. Johnson swings it over to Polino, who rips it top shelf. Then Chase Zeke scores his first goal in almost 2 months. It's a beautiful snipe of a shot that goes top shelf. It was assisted by Zach Dubinsky and Simon Shelberg, who have been two phenomenal freshmen for the Engineers. Dubinsky's got 8 points on the season in 15 games. That's 1 goal and 7 assists. And then Simon Shelberg that's his 9th point of the season. He's got 4 goals and 5 assists in 19 games played. At 18:28 of the second period, Danny DeGrande gets his second goal of the season and the second of his career. The sophomore gets assisted by Brady Ferner and Owen Savory. It was a cool little play there. Ferner banked it off the boards to himself, went in with a ton of speed, flung it towards the net, was looking for Billy Jerry, but instead it hit the stick of Jared Cockrell and went into the net. So as a result, Danny DeGrande gets the scoring, gets credit with the goal. Couple announcements. We'd like to thank the Rensselaer Union, which provides the funding for WRPI and all club-related activity of the Institute, including WRPI's coverage of RPI hockey, football, and baseball. Just a reminder, WRPI is on the World Wide Web. Point your browser to WRPI.org, and you can pick up WRPI's broadcast 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, so long as WRPI is broadcasting. We will provide the broadcast on our internet feed. Once again, that is WRPI.org. WRPI Sports is seeking current RPI students to make live calls of RPI athletic events such as this one. There are opportunities this season to get on the air for men's and women's hockey. For more information or to express censures, contact us at WRPI-sports@rpi.edu. Offensive and defensive engineers of the game. I think offensively, we're going to have to give it to, you could give it to anyone. Everybody had a ton, but I think I like Danny DeGrande's goal. I thought it was the coolest, banking it off the boards to himself and then scoring. Almost a Kobe-like play, banking it off the backboard and then scoring himself. Then defensively, you got to give it to Owen Savory. He nets his officially his second shutout of the season and second in a row. So really a nice job by Owen Savory. And we'd like to thank DJ Scooter back at the station for inboarding us here tonight. And along with everyone else here from RPI, WRPI, that brought us on, that was able to bring us live and on the air. RPI's next game will come against Brown. It will be in Providence, Rhode Island this Friday. And last time they played Brown, RPI stole the game from them with just 2 seconds remaining in the third period. They tie it up 1-1, and then they win it in overtime with Tristan Ashbrook. But that will be, again, on the road at Providence, or in Providence or Rhode Island at Brown University. On behalf of Perry, we'd like to thank you all for tuning in. And the final score from the Houston Fieldhouse in Troy, New York is RPI 3 and Colgate 0. You have been listening to live coverage of Engineer Hockey on 91.5 FM, WRPI Troy.